literally every like 5 minutes outside my window I just hear the engine of a big bus. There's like a traffic light, like roadworks just around the corner, traffic lights right here, further down the road. So then there's just a big hold up right here, and then like the top bus window at the same level as the top level of my house. So then my window and the bus window, literally you can see right through it, like right next to each other, and it's like, and then there'll be like someone on the seat, probably looking to the house, and look, I'm just staring into a corner. You can't even see the laptop from the window. But anyways, talk about science today. This is probably the last video I'm going to make about how to get a grade 9 in a specific subject. I mean, if anyone else needs help or knows anyone that needs help with a specific subject, I've took geography, computer science, BTEC engineering, and RE. Let's just get into it. Now, instead of what I usually do is where I just put tips down, I'll actually explain how I went from like decent at science to, you know what, science is my thing, sort of thing. So I'll basically go through how I like my sort of roadmap from like year 9 science revising to year 11 revising, because I've written it all out. I've seen that I've actually changed my method depending on how difficult it's got. Most people find science difficult because it's a subject where like you're just given information and you sort of just have to memorize it. And to be honest, that is pretty difficult. Just to, okay, here's the textbook, here's the lesson, that's what you have to learn. I'll be explaining how I found science relatively easy. Anyways, so in year 9 and like the start of year 10, I used one main revision source, and that was just YouTube. And definitely the main one, free science lessons. About his videos, he goes over the key bits, doesn't really waste time, no waffle, right into it. And actually his information, you could just make those into the notes or flashcards or whatever. And basically it's all there, that's all the information you'll ever need. He just goes through, you know, just okay. He goes like, you need to know this, this, this. These are the learning objectives, then you should be able to do this. And just, he's organised his videos into playlists, so you can just easily select the topic. I think he does AQA videos, but you can really use it for any exam board. But in general, he's pretty easy to follow and builds foundations for what I'm going to cover on how I've been revising in year 10 and 11. And maybe like his videos might be a bit boring to watch, even though they're like 3 minutes-ish to watch. A different channel you can also watch is Cognito. The thing I like about him, it's also quite easy to follow, literally lays out stuff very neatly, lots of colour in there, whereas free science lesson it was just like a blue background with just text, sometimes pictures, and then him talking. With Cognito you've got like, he's got a good layout, good graphics, and that's just easier to learn, easier to visualise. Cognito, good graphics, good images, good diagrams. What I used to do in year 9 was use both of them. So first off I would look at free science lessons. So if I had a test on animal and plant cells, watch free science lessons videos and then make a few notes, and then watch Cognito to reiterate the information, put it back in your memory, just to build foundation. And both of those channels explain the content very well. So free science lessons and Cognito go over all 3 sciences. If you find those 2 pretty boring, I would also recommend GCSE Physics Explained. They're like more of a teacher, which is like more enthusiastic. They don't just waffle, like they just don't like go like just explain it and that's it. Like try to make the content more fun, and making it more fun makes it more engaging, and then like hopefully the information will go into there. Now that's what I mostly did for like year 9, just getting into year 10, and that worked. But then I realised that the content will be getting a little bit harder. This is actually GCSE now, so I had to change it up. And there was one key thing which I started to use, and instantly I could see this is the actual thing, this is the best thing which you can use. PhysicsAndMathsTutor, I have talked about it a lot, but literally I can't talk about it enough because everything is there. I've definitely waffled about it a lot in other videos. But the thing about them, that website in general, is that you go to the specific subject which you want to learn about. So like physics, go to your exam board, and then they've also got keynotes, condensed notes that look at the specification. Just go look at your specification online. So I would look at Edexcel, physics specification, triple science, for example. And then there, it literally goes through everything which you have to learn. So like on the specification, you'll get each point, like all the content is separated, little points which you have to complete. That's what the specification is all about. So everything that you need to learn into different into small little bits of information. And what Physics and Maths Tutor does is that they answer all those points. So one specific example, which like just helped me get like 1 extra mark or 2 marks, it was in a physics test, and it was about why do radioactive tracers need to be produced near to a hospital. And then I remember looking at Physics and Maths Tutor that was on the specification, and they answered that point. So all I had to do was memorize that point and just use it. Physics and Maths Tutor answers all the specification points in detail. So basically you've got the answers to the actual test that you might be doing at the end of like each topic or the actual exam. Another website that also does it is SaveMyExams. Very similar stuff, just little different information. What I would always do is look at Physics and Maths Tutor first, and then look at SaveMyExams. And also maybe on a different tab on my laptop, I'd have open the actual specification, just so I know I've answered all those points. So after I've made like a mind map or made flashcards, I'd look at the specification, the actual one, and then look at each point and see if I can answer those using my flashcards or notes. And that brings me on to my other way I revised, was mind maps. I've probably showed it before. Now, mind map probably isn't the word to describe it. What I've done, probably the word I would describe it is absolute gobbledygook, absolute nonsense. Let's have a look. Physics, motion and force is one of the first topics that you have to revise. Literally, not really a mind map, just notes, coloured notes. As you can see, I used these notes, I made these notes using Physics and Maths Tutor. Literally, all this information will answer the specification. Specification is basically, this answers what I need to know, this answers what will be on the test. So memorize that, you know the test, you know the answers to the possible questions on the test. Pretty simple. It is pretty time consuming. So what else you can do is make flashcards. If you like flashcards, I did not like flashcards at all. I'd normally get in school like 10-20 minutes before the test, like before a topic test, and then read over these just to consolidate my knowledge, make sure I can iron out any weaknesses, anything I don't know, make sure I understand it all. And that's what's good about like looking at the specification using Physics and Maths Tutor and SaveMyExams, is that most people don't understand the information. Like in terms of like, if you can't understand the information for science, you can't really do well in it. But these websites and those YouTube channels explain it very well. So the videos explain it well, and the websites go through it in detail about every single topic which you need to know. That wasn't the only thing I did though. So this is like year 10, year 11 stuff. But then I did one other major thing. Practice questions. You know it was coming at some point. Like, you knew. Practice questions was always going to come up. Practice is key. Practice is key. Practice questions. Exam like practice questions. That's why I never do flashcards. It's because flashcards, you make your own questions. Well, if you make your own questions and then you have to write the answer on it, you know the answer. That doesn't really make sense to me. You know the answer to it. You know the answer to your own question. But by using practice questions, exam like practice questions, you're like, okay, go on a website. Oh, these questions. I don't know how to answer that. It's something new for your brain. It's something new. But you've just made those flashcards which you already know about. Practice questions, test your knowledge, test what you know, and that reveals what you don't know properly. If I don't know anything about a question, that tells me like I need to look at that a bit more. Literally watch a video on it. Free science lesson, Cognito, watch a video on it, read the textbook, read revision guides, read over PMT or SaveMyExams, and then practice questions. Since your exam, like, you get to know the style of the exam. And then also, science is more about application rather than just memorizing information. Especially for biology, it's more about, okay, you know this, but can you actually apply that knowledge to a different scenario? And you can also look at past papers if you really want to. I don't think I ever did. Maybe for mocks, just to find the answers for any mocks, but that was like my revision, like sort of structure that I did. But that is everything I'm going to cover in this video about science. GCSE's over, time for A level. Do I hear another bus?